If you ever want your heart shattered into premium pieces, just fall in love with a Lagos Yoruba guy, especially the tall, dark, handsome type. If he now has pink lips, my sister, run. Because that's exactly how Rita learned her lesson the hard way. There are rules women whisper to each other in quiet moments, rules meant to protect the heart. Never love a man more than he loves you. Rita knew this rule. Her mother had told her. Her friends repeated it like scripture. But rules, no matter how wise, crumble when the right person looks into your eyes. Rita was 26, working at a small tech startup in Lagos, living in a modest flat in Surulere. She wasn't looking for love, not after the last one who'd promised forever and disappeared with her rent money. The day she met Deo, the sky was crying. Her Uber had cancelled. Her phone was dying. Her bag was heavy with groceries and her laptop. Rain pounded the pavement like drums. Then a voice cut through the storm. "Sister, where are you going?" She turned. He stood there, tall, dark-skinned, with kind eyes and an umbrella that suddenly covered her completely. "Let me help you," he said, already reaching for her bag. She should have said no. Strangers in Lagos weren't usually kind without reason. But something in his smile felt safe. "Thank you," she whispered. And just like that, the door to her heart cracked open. His name was Deo. He didn't just carry her bag, he walked her all the way home, 30 minutes in the rain, talking about music, dreams, and why he believed people were fundamentally good. "People care," he said as they reached her gate. "You just have to notice." Rita noticed. Over the following days, he texted. Simple messages. "Did you get home safe? How was your day?" Nothing demanding. Just present. 2 weeks later, her mother collapsed. Rita sat in the Lagos University teaching hospital waiting room, hand shaking, phone pressed to her ear as doctors used words like stroke and observation. She called Deo without thinking. "I'm coming," he said. No questions asked. He arrived with bottled water, crackers, and a calm she desperately needed. "Your mum is strong," he whispered, sitting beside her. "She'll pull through." Then he did something that broke her completely. He prayed. Not loud. Not performative. Just a quiet, sincere prayer that made tears stream down Rita's face. "Thank you," she whispered when he finished. He smiled. "You're not alone." And for the first time in years, Rita believed it. Weeks blurred into something beautiful. They walked through Lekki Conservation Center, laughing at monkeys stealing tourist snacks. They shared jollof rice at roadside bukas, debating whether party jollof was really superior. They studied together, her reading reports, him sketching designs for the architecture firm where he worked. Deo was different. He remembered small things. How she liked her tea. That she hated being late. That thunder scared her. One evening, sitting on her balcony watching the Lagos skyline, he said something that lodged itself in her chest. "You deserve someone who sees your soul, Rita. Not just your face." Her breath caught. "And do you see it?" He looked at her with such intensity, she felt naked. Every day. That night, she broke her own rule. She loved him more than she'd ever loved anyone. And she didn't care about the consequences. Because perfect men like Deo, men who carried bags and prayed and saw souls, they didn't come around often. She had no idea how right she was. 3 months in, small cracks appeared. At first, Rita dismissed them. Deo started missing calls. Sorry, work was crazy, he'd text hours later. He'd check his phone during their dates, smiling at messages before quickly locking the screen. Once, she asked, "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just family group chat," he said easily. But his eyes didn't meet hers. Rita told herself she was being paranoid. She'd been burned before and was projecting. Still, something whispered warnings in her chest. One Saturday, they'd planned to visit her mother together. Deo cancelled last minute. Emergency at the site, he explained. Client wants changes. Rita understood. Work was work. But when she drove past the firm's office later that evening, the building was dark. No emergency. No client. She sat in her car, hands gripping the steering wheel, heart pounding. Don't jump to conclusions, she told herself. Trust him. But trust is a fragile thing. And once doubt plants its seed, it grows fast. The truth came on a Tuesday. Deo had left his jacket at her place. She meant to return it during their lunch date. But as she picked it up, something fell from the pocket. A small card written on it was "I love you" and a woman's name. Tommy, hugs and kisses. Rita's stomach twisted. She told herself it could be innocent. A colleague. A client. But the hugs and kisses burned. At lunch, she watched him closely. He smiled, joked, held her hand. Everything seemed normal. Deo, she started carefully. Do you know anyone named Tommy? His smile faltered. Just for a second. But she saw it. Tommy? Yeah, old friend. Why? Just asking. He squeezed her hand. You're the only woman I'm thinking about, Rita. She wanted to believe him. But that night, she couldn't sleep. The next morning, she did something she'd never done before. She checked his Facebook. And there, buried in his tagged photos, was a picture from 3 weeks ago, Deo with his arm around a beautiful woman at a beach. The caption read, "My forever. Love." Posted by Tommy. Rita felt the world tilt. She zoomed in on the photo. His smile was the same one he gave her. His arm around Tommy's waist was casual, familiar. My forever. Her hand shook as she scrolled through Tommy's page. More photos. Deo at her birthday dinner. Deo kissing her cheek at a wedding. Deo everywhere. The dates didn't lie. These weren't old photos. They were recent. Some even overlapped with the days he'd been with Rita. The hospital night. The park walks. The prayers. All of it, while he had someone else. Rita sat on her bathroom floor, phone clutched in her hand, and cried. Not the pretty kind of crying. The ugly, soul-deep kind that comes when you realize you were a fool. She'd broken her rule. She'd loved him more. And he'd known it. Worse, he'd used it. The man who seemed perfect wasn't perfect at all. He was a liar. A cheat. A man who wore kindness like a costume. And she'd fallen for every word. For 2 days, Rita didn't answer his calls. Baby, what's wrong? His messages read. Talk to me. She stared at the words, numb. Finally, she replied, we need to talk. Meet me at the cafe tomorrow. 2 p.m. She arrived early, hands cold despite the Lagos heat. Deo walked in right on time, concern written across his face. Rita, what's going on? You've been distant. She slid her phone across the table. Tommy's Instagram page. The photos. The captions. His face went pale. Rita, I can explain. Explain what? Her voice was calm. Too calm. That you have a girlfriend? That I'm the side chick? That everything you said was a lie? It's not like that. Then what is it like, Deo? He looked down, jaw tight. Tommy and I, we have history. But it's complicated. Complicated. She laughed bitterly. That's the word cheaters always use. I care about you, Rita. I do. But you love her. Silence. His silence was the loudest answer. Rita stood, hand steady despite her breaking heart. You know what hurts most, she said quietly. It's not that you lied. It's that you were so good at it. You made me feel special. Chosen. Safe. You are special. Don't. Her voice cracked. Don't do that. Don't make this worse by pretending you care. Deo reached for her hand. Rita, please. She pulled away. I loved you more than you loved me. I broke my own rule. And you knew it. You felt it. And you used it. Tears filled his eyes. Whether real or performed, she no longer cared. I never wanted to hurt you, he whispered. But you did. She picked up her bag. And the worst part? You'll do it again. To her, to the next woman, to whoever believes your prayers and your kindness. She turned to leave. Rita, wait. She paused at the door, not looking back. I hope she's worth it, Deo. I really do. And then she walked out into the sunlight, leaving behind the man who seemed perfect. The following weeks were hard. Rita cried. She stalked Tommy's page. She replayed every moment, looking for signs she'd missed. Her friends surrounded her with love. You dodged a bullet, they said. Her mother, recovered now, held her hand. Some men wear masks, my daughter. But time always reveals the face underneath. Slowly, painfully, Rita began to heal. She deleted Deo's number. Unfollowed Tommy. Stopped checking if he'd tried to reach out. She threw herself into work, into hobbies she'd neglected, into rebuilding the version of herself she'd lost. One evening, sitting on her balcony alone, she whispered her rule out loud. Never love a man more than he loves you. This time, she meant it. Not because she was bitter, but because she'd learned. Love isn't about how much you give. It's about finding someone who gives equally. Someone who doesn't need you to break your rules. Someone whose love doesn't require you to lose yourself. Deo had taught her that the hard way. And she'd never forget. 3 months later, Rita's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Rita, it's Deo. I know you don't want to hear from me. But I need to tell you something. Tommy and I are done. I realized too late that you were the one. Can we talk? She stared at the message for a long time. Once, she would have responded. Would have given him another chance. Would have believed his words. But she wasn't that woman anymore. She deleted the message without replying. Because she'd learned something more important than her old rule. Some men seem perfect because they know exactly what you need to hear. But real love doesn't come with lies. Real love doesn't make you doubt yourself. Real love doesn't leave you crying on bathroom floors, wondering what you did wrong. Rita smiled, set her phone down, and returned to her book. She was choosing herself now. And that felt like the most perfect thing in the world. Some lessons cost your heart. But the wisdom they leave behind? Priceless. Next time when you see a Yoruba Lagos boy. Who is tall, dark, handsome, and who seems too good to be true, my sister run. If you enjoyed listening to this story, please like, comment and subscribe.